This video is a quick introduction to radicals. In fact, everything that I'm going to talk about you should have already picked up from grade 9. Radicals, basically when I'm talking about radicals, I'm talking about roots. This sign you'll have seen before. If I put an n there, an x there, basically the n, that's called the index. The x, that is called the radicand, and obviously the sign itself is the radical sign. You'll have seen this before in grade 9, but you've probably not associated the word radical with it. So when we're talking about square roots, cube roots, any roots of anything, we're talking about radicals. To start with, we'll just be talking about square roots in this video. The first thing to know when you're working with square roots is it's useful to know the first 10 perfect squares. And just to list them, they are 1, 4, 9, 16, 25, 36, 49, 64, 81, 100, and then the other two, 121, 144. Those are the first 12 radicals. You should know those from your 12 times tables. Right, so let's do a little bit of recap over where you should have got up to. So what is a square root? When we write a square root, let's say we want to find the square root of 36. Notice there's no number here. If there's no number there, then it's assumed that it's talking the square root of something. Square root of 36 is 6, and that is because 6 times 6 equals 36. Like I was saying, it's assumed there is a 2 written here, so I need to find the number that I write down 2 times, multiply them, and it'll give me 36. So let's find the square root of 121. What number do I write down 2 times, multiply it to give me 121? Obviously the answer is 11. I can rewrite this as 121 is equal to the square root of 11 times 11 is the square root of 11 squared. And a square root and squaring are opposites, so they cancel out, leaving me with 11. This leads me on to, if I have the square root of x squared, the square root and the square cancel each other out, leaving me with just x. Another little thing you learnt in grade 9 was this exponent rule. A to the power m times a to the power n equals a to the power m plus n. This is useful when you've got things like, let's say, a to the power 6. I know the square root of a to the power 6. Now 6, using this exponent rule, I can rewrite this as a to the 3 times a to the 3. And so that the answer to that is just a to the 3, because in here what I've actually got is a to the 3 times a to the 3 is a to the 3 squared. A square root and a square, they'll cancel each other out, just leaving me a to the 3. Finally, the square root of 1 is 1. The square root of minus 1 is not defined, simply because there is no one number I can multiply by itself to give me the minus 1. The problem is this minus sign. Basically the square root of any minus number is not defined, because again there is no number that you can multiply by itself to give you a minus. To get a minus number from 2 numbers, you have to one of them has to be positive, one of them has to be negative. That's simply not going to happen. So for a square root, all minus numbers are not defined. notice that that minus number is inside the radical sign. If it was the square root of that, is not defined, the square root of minus 81. However, minus the square root of 81 is defined because the minus is outside, so just minus the square root of 81 is 9, so the answer is minus 9. Another thing to bear in mind, all the calculations inside the radical sign must be done first. Just treat it as though it's in brackets. So if I have 2 times the square root of 144, I'll work this bit out first. And that is just simply 2 times 12 equals 24. Now I'll quickly do a little bit on fractions. If I have square root of 36 over 49, that's just the same as saying square root of 36 over the square root of 49. Square root of 36 is 6, square root of 49 is 7. Easy. And if I've got multiple things inside the radical sign, let's say I've got 9x squared, that's just the same as saying the square root of 9 times the square root of x squared. So the square root of 9 is 3. Square root of x squared, remember the squared and the square root sign cancel each other, 3 times x equals 3x.